A major development has unfolded. Xi Jinping is reversing course again, and this time companies like BYD are facing serious challenges. As China's new energy vehicle market approaches saturation and domestic sales begin to falter, Xi Jinping has brandished his sickle, preparing to target new energy vehicle owners. How exactly will this be executed? First, starting next year, the vehicle purchase tax on new energy vehicles will be reinstated. This tax exemption in place for over a decade will end in 2026. Second, Xi Jinping is contemplating imposing road maintenance fees on new energy vehicles, similar to the taxes that account for nearly half the price of gasoline for fuel vehicle owners. In the future, charging costs for new energy vehicles could double, or electricity prices might rise to 3 yuan per kilowatt-hour. Consider this: you purchased a new energy vehicle to save on fuel costs, only to find that charging it may soon cost more than filling up a gas tank. Have you fallen into an electric vehicle trap set by Xi Jinping? In this video we will analyze why Xi Jinping is suddenly targeting new energy vehicles, a move that frankly seems self-destructive to China's progress. Let's begin with the reinstatement of the vehicle purchase tax. Since Xi Jinping prioritized the development of new energy vehicles in China, the government has offered tax incentives to encourage purchases. The most significant benefit for consumers was the exemption from the vehicle purchase tax. On September 1, 2014, China announced this exemption, which was extended in 2017, 2020, and 2022. For 11 years this policy has benefited consumers, and many may not realize it is set to expire again at the end of this year, requiring renewal. This year, however, Xi Jinping has decided against extending the exemption. Why? There are two primary reasons. First, the penetration rate of new energy vehicles is nearing 50%, indicating a nearly saturated market, with domestic sales declining. Based on vehicle registration data, July's new energy vehicle sales in China totaled 1.048 million units, a 12.2% drop from the previous month. This decline is particularly pronounced in first-tier cities and provincial capitals, where purchasing power is strongest. Sales fell 15.3% in Beijing, 14.8% in Guangzhou, 32.6% in Tianjin, 7.7% in Shenzhen, 14.7% in Hangzhou, and 2.5% in Shanghai. Virtually all major Chinese cities are seeing significant declines. This year, despite various national and local subsidies for new energy vehicle purchases, these incentives have lost their effectiveness. This suggests that the new energy vehicle market has reached all potential buyers. The leeks have been harvested, and the pigs are in the pen, ready for slaughter. The second reason is straightforward. The government is facing a fiscal shortfall. With a fiscal deficit rate of 4% this year, Xi Jinping is eager to identify new tax revenue sources, and the vehicle purchase tax on new energy vehicles is an obvious target. Let's calculate the potential revenue. The tax structure is simple. Vehicles priced under 300,000 yuan are taxed at 5%. For vehicles above 300,000 yuan, the formula is the vehicle price multiplied by 10% minus 15,000 yuan. For example, a high-end new energy vehicle priced at 500,000 yuan would incur a 35,000 yuan tax. Assuming next year's sales match this year's, approximately 15 million vehicles with 90% priced under 300,000 yuan, average price 200,000 yuan, and 10% above 300,000 yuan, average price 500,000 yuan, the government could collect roughly 1.8 trillion yuan in taxes. This amount would rank among China's top 3 tax revenue sources, making it a tempting target for Xi Jinping. The reinstatement of the purchase tax is confirmed, but Xi Jinping believes it's insufficient. He's exploring additional ways to extract revenue from new energy vehicle owners. His advisors have proposed a new idea, as reported in a recent Caixin article. Experts suggest new energy vehicles share road maintenance costs. In plain terms, more taxes. How will this work? By mirroring the tax structure for fuel vehicles. Gasoline prices in China are high because 46% of the cost consists of value-added taxes, consumption taxes, urban construction fees, and education surcharges. With new energy vehicles capturing nearly 50% of the market and reducing fuel vehicle sales, fewer people are buying gas, leading to a drop in tax revenue. Xi Jinping aims to offset this loss by taxing electric vehicle owners. On September 13, Wang Qing, Deputy Director of the Market Economy Research Institute at the State Council's Development Research Center, stated at the China Automotive Industry Development International Forum that road maintenance costs 600 billion yuan annually, with a 300 billion yuan shortfall. He noted that pure electric vehicles are driven 66% more than fuel vehicles, implying greater road usage without contributing to maintenance costs. His solution? Electric vehicle owners should pay through higher electricity prices, potentially doubled, with 3 yuan per kilowatt-hour considered reasonable. This logic is flawed. Electric vehicles contribute significantly to environmental sustainability by reducing emissions and healthcare costs. Shouldn't the government reward owners for these savings? It's inconsistent to benefit from their contributions silently but demand payment when costs arise. Moreover, the tax exemption was a strategic investment to grow the electric vehicle industry, which has generated substantial tax revenue from companies and their employees. This mirrors tax cuts in the U.S., where short-term revenue losses fuel consumption and investment, benefiting the government through economic growth. If a U.S. leader complained about tax cuts costing revenue, they'd face fierce backlash. In China, however, many citizens are less attuned to tax dynamics, making them vulnerable to manipulative rhetoric. Regarding road maintenance, the claim of a 600 billion yuan budget with a 300 billion yuan shortfall is questionable. In Chinese cities, roads are often repaired annually, not for necessity, but for profit. In Western democracies, roads rarely require such frequent repairs. The shortfall should be addressed by tackling corruption and inefficient projects, not by taxing car owners. If officials misappropriate even half the budget, recovering 300 billion yuan should be feasible. Nevertheless, Xi Jinping's decision to target new energy vehicle owners will hit companies like BYD hardest. With rising purchase and operating costs, coupled with subsidy cuts and a saturated market, sales are likely to decline. The industry faces severe overcapacity, evident in ongoing price wars. How will BYD sustain its supply chain? Its CEO, Wang Chuanfu, might be desperate to appeal to Xi Jinping for relief. Once a national priority, new energy vehicles are now being sidelined for newer interests like AI, chips and robotics, discarded after losing their strategic value. Why announce these policies now? Xi Jinping may believe that signaling the end of subsidies and the return of taxes will spur a rush of purchases in the next 2 months, boosting this year's sales. However, with subsidies exhausted and monetary policies like subsidized consumer loans showing little impact, this strategy is flawed. Durable goods like cars are tied to economic cycles. Sales rise in good times and fall in bad. Short-term incentives are losing effectiveness, and scaring owners with new taxes will only deter purchases. Some may even sell their electric vehicles, opting for subways or ride-hailing services instead. Ultimately, Xi Jinping's plan to generate 1 to 2 trillion yuan in tax revenue will likely underperform. Heavy taxes could lead to bankruptcies and layoffs in the new energy vehicle sector, reducing personal income, value-added and corporate taxes. This cascade of consequences will leave Xi Jinping with little gain, having once again experimented with and set back China's economy. Thanks for watching and joining us on this journey to unveil China's many layers. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and hit that subscribe button to stay updated. See you in the next video.